but everyone else lives in that prison. And the sucky thing is no one tells them. And I hope that one day when you guys grow up and you can give to the people that work for you or the kids that happen to go to your classroom, you can give them a little bit of insight into how to actually be successful, okay? So I'm gonna say the story because I think some of you may have heard it, but I'm gonna talk a story about the carpenter. There's an elderly carpenter that was ready to retire. He told his employer of his plans to leave the house building business and live a more leisurely life with his wife, enjoying his retirement. He would also miss the paycheck, but he needed to retire. He believed they could just get by. It's fine. The contractor was sorry to see his good worker go and asked if he could build just one more house as a personal favor. The carpenter said yes, but in time it was easy to see that his heart was not in his work. He resorted to shoddy workmanship and used inferior materials. It was an unfortunate way to end his career. When the carpenter finished his work and the builder came to inspect the house, the contractor handed the keys to the carpenter and said, "This is your house. It is my gift to you." We build our lives in a distracted way, reacting rather than acting, willing to put up less than the best. At important points, we do not give the job our best effort. Then, with a shock, we look at the situation we have created and find that we are now living in the house we built for ourselves. If we had realized, we would have done it differently. Think of yourself as the carpenter. Think about your house. Each day you hammer a nail. You're building your house. Build it wisely. Every single day when you're at work, when you're at school, when you're interacting with people, you're building a foundation that it's very hard to change when you grow up. Is it easy to change your parents? No. Is it easy actually to change me? I actually think so. You know why? Because every single day, every single week, every single month, I'm learning. If you never learn and you get stuck, your brain can't learn anymore. It's called neuroplasticity, okay? You learned this in college one day, in your medical school. Is if you could actively use your brain to be able to learn new things all the time, you can be very adaptable. That's why I could pick up things like mountain biking at 42 and be good at it, or whatever it is I'm learning. I do hope that you guys get something out of this class. I hope that you have a new perspective on work, on your college experience. Those 5 last things that are tips for you guys, I would like you to do. And I'm not asking you guys, well, I can't force you guys, but I'll tell you the one thing that I will invest in your future. If you take that first one, which is save, 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 and you create your own checking account that's outside of your current bank, and you give your information to Carmen, I will deposit $20 of my own money into your account because I will invest in your future. And I hope you use that to compound your wealth and your success. Okay? Love you guys.
Are you gonna clap or?
Well,
Wow, look how
Hey, I'll close.
so if you can, what did you get? What's one thing you got out of it before we get out of here? What's one good point or something that you learned?
Don't be a loser.
Yeah.
Don't be a crackhead.
Work
Don't
out.
have kids. What else did I learn from? No, I'm kidding.
Adversity.
Don't have kids.
I think the most beneficial part that changed my perspective that I got out of this was the linear versus exponential. Because it was always like a thing that I knew about how taking the path less traveled, you have a different path and a different line of success.
Yeah.
But I don't know, hearing your like little testimony about it. Definitely.
It's so funny. That's the book she never read.
And isn't that so crazy?
And you
So
picked
go
the wrong
read it
ass.
tonight.
I always tell almost everyone like I say this to, they just look at me like with 10 heads. I said, the answer is right under your nose. You just don't know it.
Yeah.
And it's all it is. All you have to do is open up some books and you'll figure it out.
Right.
It's so strange.
Yeah.
Like books are made to be horrible, boring things when you're
School.
because of school.
Yeah.
But
Because of the workforce.
but I'm sure you guys are obsessive over something. So whether it be like how to create TikTok filters, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
me.
Oh,
But
he calling you out.
but if you can really like love and learn how to do that and really be the upper echelon of that,
Yeah.
you should be able to translate that into other hobbies and other interests that interest you.
Exactly.
And I always tell people the greatest puzzle, the greatest fun, most exciting hobby. Like my brother finally gets it, my twin brother. I was, yeah,
Identical?
yeah, is myself. So he,
Wait.
yeah, I got a twin brother.
Okay.
Is this the
I
real
thought,
John I'm
Identical.
talking to right
I
now?
thought
No,
you were
no,
implying.
he's the philosophical John.
I thought that's exactly what I thought you were
The
implying.
other one from yesterday was the angry John.
That's great.
I'm kidding. Yeah, I have a twin brother, and he got hip surgery because he tore his labrum and all that stuff, and he's an ER doctor, you know. But ultimately,
Can I talk to your twin brother?
yeah. One day when he comes visits, I'll let you know.
He's not visiting.
But this what I'll tell you is, he struggled with a lot of death and physical issues during this time, and he never really got things until he began to meditate. And then every time he comes back here, since we're twins, we're genetically identical, I can explain things within our bodies that he can understand. Because you try to explain something to somebody else about like your thigh, they don't get it. But me and him, we sort of share the same type of body. So I just gave him something to think of. I said, every time you do yoga or you meditate, you just explore your body while you're doing it. And just you're aware of things instead of thinking that your hip is broken. You just experience what you experience, and the answers will come. And he's now able to really begin to he's like, it definitely makes a difference. He can explore things, and he's hopefully solving a lot of the problems that had plagued him. So it's a very interesting thing. I don't know what my point on that was, but
Meditate is the point, and then John has a twin.
yo, can I ask you guys to do one thing?
Yes.
Because Kane does meditate.
I know. I think he's told us that he meditates.
Yes.
Download like Headspace or any meditation app,
Headspace.
and try to do a 5-minute, or just even if you don't, you just time yourself for 5 minutes. If that's the one thing that you can do for me, and just message me like tonight. Can you guys do tonight?
Tonight?
Meditate tonight?
5 minutes.
Okay, after the essay.
I'm so much better than you. I want to do 10.
Yeah. If you meditate for 5 minutes, you're gonna begin to realize how busy your mind is.
Yeah.
It's absolutely nuts. You can't shut it down. But when you meditate, you can begin to control it. Okay. So what'd you learn?
I learned I liked the suggestion to put that second checking account that we don't have control over and just connect it to our paycheck
Okay.
and have that like X amount going
Yeah.
there. Because that's an issue that I'm seeing these big goals that I have for myself, and there's a very large money aspect in the way.
Yeah.
And I sat down and I like mathed everything out, and I have this number that I need to save every month, and I'm trying to go for that. But it's hard whenever like I just take it out in cash and just put it away because I still know that it's there.
Yeah.
And if I put it in a separate account, I'll know it's there, but I won't be able.
Yeah.
to
When you put it in a second account, it also takes days to transfer. So you really have to be desperate at that point.
Yeah.
So it's a really good way to think about it. It's a habit versus a goal. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
before you're like setting a goal, you never get there.
Yeah.
Set a habit, which is let me change the way I save, and then it'll help. Anything?
Whenever you were talking about like the video shown with the Matrix and stuff like that, I feel like I have a hard time, like mentally. My weakest self is my mental state, and so like if I can understand, like basically I wrote down everything is obviously it's not true, but like I understand, I put down everything as a mind game because it literally
It is.
I'm my biggest enemy,
Yeah.
and so I feel like if I can overcome myself, then I'll be a better person towards other people, and I think I'll be a better employee, not just for you, but for the future wise,
Yeah.
like with everyone I'm with.
Okay.
So I think
That's
that
awesome.
if I, yeah,
That's very like self-aware. It's super deep, which is good. So if you want to attend one more class after this, read Think Like a Monk.
I will.
I know you will love it, because if that's what you want and you know that that's what you want to work on, it's a pretty awesome book. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.